We're going to be talking about personas. So exactly what you would think personas mean is what personas is for web. So what is a persona? A persona is the voice of the user. A persona is a representation of a typical user of your website. Using a persona in the design process puts the focus back on the user who's your target audience. So for instance, a persona for Mohawk College would be high school students looking to apply to Mohawk. It could be parents looking for information for their children. Um, and it could also be staff. It could be people like myself, professors, admin staff, etc. So say a Mohawk College is, as an example, that's a very broad range of people. So when you think about your personas, if I think of 3 personas for Mohawk College, that's going to be Jordan, who I'm gonna guess you're in your 20s, Jordan. Male. He lives here. He does this, etc. And it's myself, female. I'm not gonna give you my age quite yet. Where I live, etc. And then maybe it's someone's parent. So 3 main categories of personas. So you have marketing personas, you have proto personas, and you have design personas. So marketing persona focuses on demographic information. So the buying motivations, the concerns, the shopping or buying preferences, the marketing message, the media habits, etc. So all marketing things, obviously related, would go into this category. They're good for determining what types of customers will be receptive to certain products or messages, or evaluating potential ROI of a product. Does everyone know what ROI is? ROI is,
return on investment.
you got it. That was Nazreen.
Yes.
I gotcha. Return on investment. So that means, in case you need a little bit more info on that, your return on investment means if I spend $5,000 making a website, I want to make sure that I'm going to sell $5,000 worth of product or $6,000. That's my return on my investment. So my investment is my website and my return is people buying stuff. Design personas focus on user goals, current behavior, and pain points as opposed to their buying or media preferences or behaviors. Design personas are good for communicating research insights, user goals, understanding, and for focusing on certain types of users and defining a product or service. Proto personas, hint, hint, this is what we're going to be doing, are an educated guess as to who a user would be and are used when there's no money or time to create true research-based personas. So to kind of jump back a little bit, generally when you start a big project, you have a whole team of people that will do extensive research, figuring out who your target is. They will do market research. So they're going to go out into the field and they're going to ask questions and do surveys and this and that. A proto persona is you as the professional are going to be figuring out from your best knowledge and some research who those people would be. So again, an educated guess. Mohawk. An educated guess would be obviously a student, maybe a parent, or perhaps staff. So why do we create them? Personas can be used to validate or disapprove design decisions. Personas allow us to vet and prioritize feature requests. Personas are an inspiration and ideation. So with personas, the things that we clarify are who are the ideal customers, what the user's current behaviors and patterns are. Do they go on the website late at night? Do they do that during the day? Are they shift workers, etc.? What are the users or what are the needs and goals of my user? What issues and pain points do they currently face within the given context? Nice and quick, how do we create them? Creating a proto persona is a great way to create a great way to create a proto persona is to start by sketching out categories to help define the user on paper. So a sketch of the user, you guys would probably use stock imagery, unless you're superstar illustrator, then you'll go ahead and do that. Vital statistics and a short biography, personality, motivations, goals, frustrations. So if we kind of zoom in on this sucker here, the demographics. So we're talking about their age, where they live, male, female, non-binary, whatever that may be. Their demographics, that they're very loyal to brands. I only buy Nike, I only buy Adidas, I only drink this or that. Their behaviors, so they like simplicity, they like reading blogs, needs and goals, etc. So what they must do, so they must be able to go to a website and find the information that they need immediately, versus, you know, a really cool slick website that has a lot of bells and whistles. They don't care about that. They just want to go and get down to info. But it's up to you to decide that. So you begin with a sketch, or probably, like I said, a stock photo. So with visual details. So again, giving them a name gives them like life, right? Include visual details about the user. This helps generate a picture of what the user looks like. Do they have snarky looks? Do they use an iPhone? What do they look like? Do they have big beards, dark glasses, you know, cardigans with cats on them, whatever it may be, right? Lots of times we are, you know, our visual appearance can represent who we are as a person, right? Vitals and biographies, so a demographic profile. So again, things like age, gender, family, size, income, etc. Their geographic, where they live. And then sometimes there's a little paragraph with a biography. So for instance, Jill is a regional director. She travels. She has a specific region in which she travels, and she often visits the same cities and stays in the same hotels. So probably doesn't really like change too much. Then we get into the personality. So the personality of your user can utilize infographics like charts to help visualize the user and the personality. Try to include aspects of the personality that are relevant to the product or service you're working with. So again, if it's Mohawk, you know, do they like a lot of information, or they like simplicity? If it's food, they really like this kind of food, they don't like this kind of food, etc. The motivations, user motivations help us to prioritize the user in regards to how they interact with your website, web applications. This helps determine the interactive design decisions. So again, their motivations, are they motivated by like finding the greatest deal? Are they motivated by, you know, old reliable, I don't like anything crazy, I just like the same old basic stuff, you know, how quick do they want to find things, etc. Goals and frustrations. So basic guidelines for interaction experience include what the persona expects, their wants, and what they don't want. So for instance, your goals, if it's say a travel website, they want to spend less time booking travel. They really like to maximize on loyalty points, to narrow down options when it comes to shops. Frustrations, spending too much time booking, doesn't have time for that, etc., etc. So these are just a few visual examples for you guys. And you can obviously do your own research. As I'm sure you know, this is going to be one of our projects. But this is a great source of information as to how things are broken up, the information they include in here, their goals, their frustrations. So you can kind of use these as design inspiration and information inspiration. A nice way of doing it as well. So name John Doe, you know, oh, this guy likes dogs, you know, oh, he's 28, he's a PhD student, his income, needs, frustrations, etc. A little bit more of a graphic approach. So if this is your style, you're more than welcome to do this as well. I would personally say creating or grabbing an actual stock image would probably be easier. But what I do want to point out in these so far is you can clearly see a grid-like formation. So you have, or column-like grid. So you have things broken up into 3 columns. So your information is clear. It's not jumping around all over the place. Because these are kind of a professional like document. Too many bells and whistles, you don't want to scatter your client type thing, which kind of BB. So again, little graphic approaches to these. Again, more information. These I personally don't think are the strongest designs, but are in here for a good representation of information. A nice, interesting one. So again, a lot more. So say this person was asked to do 4 proto personas. They did 4 basic layout the same, but they did still move things around and they changed the color just to give a little bit of more visual appeal. You do not have to do that. You can make them exactly the same. I'll circle back to that in a moment. So a good persona will help you understand a user's personalities, behaviors, attitudes, needs, challenges, pain points, etc. Creating personas helps you aim and shoot a particular user you are targeting to use the web product. Creating personas can also remove the business owner or controlling stakeholders' opinion of the design process. I'm going to get, once I talk about our project, I'm going to touch upon this a little bit more in case anyone's feeling a little bit lost. Lots more resources there for you guys to click through and check out.